Assalamu alaikum. Hello everybody, Mr. Gamal with you. Today we are going to complete David Copperfield. We'll discuss chapter 5 and 6. Let's start. Chapter 5, Life on My Own. Mr. Madstone and Grandis warehouse. طبعا احنا عارفين ان Grandis ده ايه؟ البارتنر بتاع مستر ميردستون في الوير هاوس. was an old and dirty. الوير هاوس طبعا was an old and dirty building where David and the boys wash and rinse wine bottle. rinse يعني بيشطفوا، بيغسلوا طبعا البوتلز وينظفوها في الوير هاوس المستودع ده. Mr. Grundy introduced David to Mr. Micawber. مستر ميكوبر احنا عارفين انه كان ستاوت مليان middle aged person who would take David to his house as a lodger. طبعا مستر ميكوبر كان هياخد ديفيد عشان يعيش معاه as a lodger كايه مستأجر. Mr. Micawber's house was shabby, untidy like himself. The blinds اللي هم الكيرتنز were kept down to fool or deceive the creditors that no one was at home. هنكمل second slide. Mrs. Micawber was thin faded lady. كانت ست يعني faded lady كده ايه كبيرة كده ملامحها مش واضحة. had four tiny children. Micawber's owned many bills. طبعا احنا عارفين ان هم كانوا بيعانوا من financial problems. The Micawbers were kind to David. They invited him to share their own hot dinner. بالرغم انهم هنا although they were poor, they were very generous. David working from morning till night feeling miserable and without hope. طبعا هو بيشتغل ليل ونهار وما بياخدش غير ايه؟ قلنا 7 shillings. He feared that he had forgotten everything he had learned at school. وده ممكن نقول عليها what was David's fear. Because of the creditors اللي هم الدائنين, Micawbers had to pawn their furniture. انهم يرهنوا الفurniture بتاعهم. Then Mr. Micawber was arrested and sent to prison. The something did turn up that a relative. طبعا احنا عارفين ان كان دايما مستر ميكوبر بيقول there is something turn up. بقول ان في something might turn up ممكن يتغير، في حاجة هتحصل. طب ايه اللي هيحصل هنا؟ فوجئنا ان في relative to Mr. Micawber died and left sorry هنا دي left him some money that paid off debts. طبعا هو هنا دفع debts اللي عليه كلها debts and went to live in Australia. في عندي كمان هنا another slide. David decided to leave London, so he wrote to Peggotty to send him his aunt's address. David sent a letter to Peggotty to send him where did his aunt live. David hired a car to take him to Dover where his aunt lived and his luggage to Dover. طبعا هو hired a car to take him to Dover where Aunt Betsy lived, but the cart driver took his money and luggage and drove away. خدهم ايه وهرب بيهم. So David decided to go on foot and it took him 6 days. طبعا عشان يوصل دوفر اخد كام 6 days. When David reached Aunt Betsy's home في apostrophe s a neat cottage. كان عبارة عن ايه الهوم ده؟ neat cottage كوخ كده مهندم جميل. He looked miserable and the aunt shouted at him to go away. She didn't know David, so she shouted at him. But David explained everything. شرح لها كل حاجة. So she took him in and asked Mr. Dick or Richard Publi ريتشارد بابلي ده الاسم الثاني بتاعه مستر ديك، هو بيفضل prefer the name مستر ديك. pleasant faced gentleman، طبعا كان رجل بشوش. طلبت aunt بيتسي طلبت منه to come to help David and gave her advice. Mr. Dick's family wanted to put him in an asylum for life as he suffered a harmless illness. طبعا دي حكايه مستر ديك، كان عايزين يحطوا له في اورفن، اسلايم اورفن باقي حياته يعني، علشان كان بيعاني من مرض. Aunt Betsy sent for the Murdstones, so they came and complained that David was stubborn عنيد disobedient. كمان Miss Murdstone said that David was the worst boy in the world and they came to take him back, but Aunt Betsy refused to hand David to them، إنها تسلمهم ديفيد. Aunt Betsy cried at faces and accused them that they were the cause of David's misfortune, suffering, Clara's death، إن هم السبب في كل اللي حصل ده. So they went away and David began a new life with a new name. كانت مسمية طبعا هنا called him Trotwood Copperfield with 2 guardians، مع ايه؟ 2 من الحراس. The Micawbers were poor. طبعا انتهى كده chapter 1. هنبدأ في الكويستشن. The Micawbers were poor but they were generous to David explained. ده طبعا اكيد واضح. Number 2, that's my name and you are David Copperfield, the boy who is to live in my house. هنعمل هنا comment. Something must turn up. comment، واحنا عارفين مين اللي قال ده. I must tell you Miss Trotwood that David has given us great trouble and pain. برضو هنا الكومنت بتاعنا. Have him measured for a suit of clothes. حاول نركز في الكوتيشن ده. Does he know where I am? Shall I have to go back to him? comment. هنشوف another slide اللي هو chapter 6 A New Life. David had recovered from his sufferings. يعني بعد ما ديفيد خلص قدر يخف من المعاناة اللي هو عاش فيها. His aunt sent him to a good school in Canterbury. So David met Mr. Wakefield. Wakefield كان اللوير بتاع aunt ايه باتسي. And his sister Agnes, she was a beautiful girl. كمان شاف هنا مين الاسيستنت يورايا هيب، كريبي، رجل كده متلون زي التعبان كده. Mr. Wakefield suggested Dr. Strong's school. هو اقترح انه يروح سترونج سكول، ودي طبعا سكول مشهورة هناك كويسة for boys. offer to let David to live، وكمان عرض عليهم ان ديفيد يعيش معاه during the school days. Agnes was a happy bright looking girl، وان وشها كانت cheerful. Uriah Heep was a creepy boy، ولد خبيث كده. had a death-like face. طبعا وشه كان فوش حياة كده. no eyebrows no eyelashes. كمان عنده ايه thin body. The last slide here. At school David met the new master Dr. Strong and Annie, pretty young lady. طبعا احنا عارفين انها كانت دكتور سترونج's wife Annie. Dr. Strong was a good teacher, kind to all boys, so they all loved him. كانت كل الأولاد بتحبه في السكول بتاعته. Questions. What about Uriah Heep's personality or character? I plan to put him into a good school where he will be taught and well treated. I need your advice on choosing that school. Comment. هنشوف هنا مين اللي قال الكوتيشن ده وكان بيتكلم عن ايه. 3. I would like that very much for it's so near to hear. Comment. طبعا احنا عارفين ده ايه. David to his aunt Betsy. Thanks for your listening and goodbye.